Yeah. Hey man, say man, it's your boy DAA man, Daylight TV. Back at y'all with another Mafia Material Mobcast, episode number 75. Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, so thought it's only right. I go daylight boys on these niggas. Cut up. What up? Hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that notification bell if you really mobbing with the content. And shit, I ain't gonna hold y'all. You know what I'm saying? Our first story of the day, you gotta talk about Tucson Phantom, the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. All right. Yeah, this is I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I wasn't really following this story. I just kept seeing it pop up and I'm like, 80-something-year-old girl. Like, I mean, I understand people going missing is a big thing, but I was like, who's shorty? You know what I mean? So, yeah, tell y'all what I know now after doing my due diligence. So, the Tucson Phantom, the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, look, man, after, doing my research, like, I enjoy a good locked room mystery as much as the next algorithm. But the reality in the Catalina foothills is getting increasingly grim and deeply weird. So come to find out, they're now 13 days into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host, Savannah Guthrie. While the FBI is busy playing, enhance on the grainy doorbell footage, the rest of the world is wondering how does an octogenarian with a pacemaker just vanish into the Arizona scrub, my nigga. Timeline of the disappearing act, like, it's the detail that gets you. The mundane turning into, a macabre, so to speak, just in a span of hours. So January 31st at 9:48 p.m., Nancy's son-in-law, Thomaso Sione, dropped her off after a lovely dinner, games and family time, you know what I'm saying? Now, he's the last person to see her. February 1st at around 1:47 a.m., doorbell camera is manually disconnected. Someone knew exactly where the off switch was. Also on February 1st at 2:28 a.m., this is the part that actually gives me a glitch in my empathy chip. Her pacemaker app disconnects from her phone. Now, that's not just a signal drop. That's a digital flatline of her presence in the house. right? Now fast forward, about 10 hours later, around 12:03 p.m., it's noontime, the family realizes something is wrong when she misses her virtual church service, right? Now, the FBI have finally recovered some footage, and our lead suspect looked like he did, some pre-abduction shopping exclusively at a suburban strip mall. Yeah, he might be like the Walmart commando or some shit. So, height and build, 5'9" to 5'10", average build. The gear, a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack, Walmart finest. Uh, got mask, gloves, and armed with a holstered handgun. Now there are blood stains on the porch, confirmed to be Nancy's, and a pair of black gloves found 2 miles away. Now, that's one. Like, then there's a note on the ransom, like a ransom note. The whole fucking circus. So between a $6 million Bitcoin demand that knew about a specific broken floodlight and I think they said it was a $67,000 like pay me for the name offer on TMZ. I guess they was trying to the signal to noise ratio, you know what I'm saying? Like just a mess. Everybody, the girl famous, you know what I'm saying? Like she on the Today Show. And let's not forget, uh Derek Colella, I think his name is, right? The Hawthorne man who decided to see if the family would respond with a hope text. Pro tip for humanity. If a family is grieving a kidnapping, maybe don't A/B test their trauma for fun. Just a thought. Now, the who and the why, like this is my dark curiosity. This doesn't feel like a random wrong house situation. An 84-year-old woman living alone in a high-end neighborhood is a target? Sure. But the level of surveillance tampering suggests intent. Now, my Savannah angle is like Savannah Guthrie isn't just, morning show host. She's a journalist who has spent decades reporting on the world's most powerful and most litigious um yeah, some of the most powerful people, in the game and shit, in the world, like world leaders, celebrities, you name it, right? So some people are wondering, did she poke the hornet's nest recently in the world of eye for an eye, extreme logic, going after a mother, the ultimate leverage? Then there's the Michael Feldman connection, Savannah's husband. Now, Michael is the heavy hitter in the PR/consulting world. FGS Global/Glover Park Group, I believe, is the company he involved with. He deals with crisis management for the world elites. You know, basically, he's a cleaner, a fixer. You know what I'm saying? That's a good combination. You know what I'm saying? A fixer and a journalist or whatever. You know, including past ties to the Depp legal team. You know what I'm saying? And mentions in the Epstein file. However, you know, tangential. You know what I'm saying? Like, when your job is buried in the shadows of corporate and political power, the shadows sometimes follow you home to Tucson. Now, the son-in-law, poor Thomas O'Cione, man, is currently being raked over the coals by the internet, detective, the brigade, because he was the last one to see it. He dropped off. Now, while the FBI hasn't named him as the suspect, digital pitchforks are out. Ain't looking at that nigga. Now, the bottom line is we're at a 13-day mark. The reward is $100,000. Nancy needs heart medication that she doesn't have. Whether this is a botched robbery or a calculated strike against a high-profile family, the clock isn't just ticking at this point. That shit pounding. And it's kind of fucked up because we just seen the whole situation with Lil Johnson, you know. Now, to keep this strictly focused on the data available for a minute, let's look at, again, like the who and the why through the lens of the current investigative facts and the professional background of Nancy's family. You know what I'm saying? Now, who's Nancy? You know, when an 80, like I said, when an 84-year-old is targeted with this level of technical precision, disconnecting cameras and, monitoring pacemakers, the investigation naturally followed the high-profile nature of her immediate family. You know what I'm saying? Sabrina, they looked into Nancy Guthrie's reporting, I'm sure, as a lead anchor for the Today Show. Savannah is often the center of massive, contentious stories. Most recently, she interviewed the legal team of Johnny Depp and had been a fixture in reporting on high-stake litigation. Now, in the world of dark humor irony, like I said, a journalist who spends her life seeking the truth might find her own family targeted by those who want their truth buried. Now, Michael Feldman's career, Nancy's other son-in-law, they say he a heavy hitter, world of communications. Feldman is a North American co-chairman of the firm. Like I said, handles crisis management, corporation high profile shit. Now, the Epstein mention is like the thing that caught my attention because recently internal documents, the Epstein files from February 2026, mentioned Feldman's name in a 2015 email from Larry Summers suggesting the firm's services for a high-level crisis. I'm pretty sure Epstein had a bunch of high-level crises because, before all of this shit, before he got caught in the joint where he ended up, checking out, that nigga had a case in Florida. And I got to see some of the emails that got leaked. Like, this nigga was on some sick shit. Now, while this is the professional mention, like saying about him being on the island and no shit like that, and it's from a decade ago, in the current climate of the true crime obsession, it fuels questions about whether his past work for the elite had created enemies. The ransom dynamic, I'm just looking at it. The question is professional or amateur. The investigation is currently wading through a swamp of ransom demand that range from sophisticated to disturbed hoax. Unanswered questions, like my curiosity here, like I don't know, I'm just going over all the scenarios in my mind. It just lies in the technical surgicality of all this shit, man. This wasn't a smash and grab, bro. You know what I'm saying? Investigators have expanded their search to the home of Nancy's other daughter, Annie, where Nancy had dinner just hours before she was taken. So I guess that was Thomas O's thing. Now, the fact that the pacemaker app disconnected at 2:28 a.m. is the most chilling piece of data, because it suggests that the kidnapper was not only aware of her physical vulnerability, but also the digital trail that she left behind. Now, the FBI is now asking for surveillance footage from a 2-mile radius for the entire month leading up to February 1st. This suggests that they believe Nancy was probably being, stalked or cased or, watched for weeks before maybe, the person decided to strike. Now, whether this is a blowback that had anything to do with Savannah's journalism or calculated play against Feldman's high-stake consulting, one thing is clear, bro. Somebody spent a lot of time learning the routines of an 84-year-old woman in the Catalina foothills. And it's just super goddamn weird to me, bro. Like I said, I just read up on all this shit, today, and took a few notes. Like, this shit is bugged out. Hopefully they find her. Hopefully her situation turn out better than Nathan Smith, man. And that shit kind of weird too. Like, I know they saying no foul play. I'm just saying how close he was to the crib and how long they was looking. Like, it just kind of bugged out. Like, he must have immediately. I just want to find out from the medical examiner how long he been in there. But yeah, man, that's a story on Nancy Guthrie, Tucson Phantom, the disappearance. You know what I'm saying? Mafia Material Mobcast, episode 75. Gonna take a